said, I'm about as Islamic as they are. You know, distancing the vast numbers of Islamic people around the world from it. That's just not true.
It is true. Behind every Muslim is a future member of some radical...
There are illiberal beliefs that are held by vast numbers of Muslim people that I don't think...
Vast number of Christians, too.
No, that's not true. Not true. Vast numbers of Christians do not believe that if you leave the Christian religion, you should be killed for it.
One of the great comedians of our day and spokespeople for Western civilization is the great Bill Maher. He's both a comedian, intellectual, and somebody who really cares about what's happening in the world today, especially when it comes to fighting back and pushing back against Islamic fundamentalism and Islamic political movements like CAIR in the United States. So here he is speaking out against what he feels is the dangers of Islamic terrorism in the West, how we need to push back against it with intellect, with clarity, and some comedy as well. He's speaking to the great Charlie Rose. And of course, I'd like to hear what you have to say about this. So don't forget to leave your comments below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We'll see you on the other end of the video.
I think liberals should stop booing me for pointing out that Islam is not like other religions, that is a unique threat. And that
but it's not Islam you're against.
Howard Dean on TV the other day, and he said something along the order of, he said, the people in ISIS are, I said, I'm about as Islamic as they are. You know, distancing the vast numbers of Islamic people around the world from it. That's just not true.
It is true.
It is not true, Charlie. There is a connecting tissue between...
you mean, you know, behind every Muslim is a future member of some radical...
Let me finish.
I thought I was doing that.
There are illiberal beliefs that are held by vast numbers of Muslim people that I don't think...
Vast number of Christians, too.
No, that's not true. Not true. Vast numbers of Christians do not believe that if you leave the Christian religion, you should be killed for it. Vast numbers of Christians do not treat women as second-class citizens. Vast numbers of Christians
I agree with that.
Do not believe that if you draw a picture of Jesus Christ, you should get killed for it. So yes, does ISIS do Khmer Rouge-like activities where they just kill people indiscriminately who aren't just like them? Yes. And would most Muslim people in the world do that or condone that? No. But most Muslim people in the world do condone violence just for what you think. They do. First of all, they say it. They shout it from the...
Vast majorities of Muslims
Absolutely.
say that?
There's a Pew poll of Egypt done a few years ago. 82%, I think it was, said stoning is the appropriate punishment for adultery. Over 80% thought death was the appropriate punishment for leaving the Muslim religion. I'm sure you know these things.
I know. Well, I do.
So to claim that this religion is like other religions is just naive and plain wrong. It is not like other religions. The New York Times pointed out in an op-ed a couple of weeks ago that in Saudi Arabia, just since August 4th, I think it was, they have beheaded 19 people. Most for non-violent crimes, including homosexuality.
Those that got the hands off a thief.
Right. Okay. So we're upset that ISIS is beheading people, which we should be upset about. But Saudi Arabia does it, and they're our good friends because they have oil.
Right.
Okay? But they do it too. This is the center of the religion. In Mecca, where infidels, non-Muslims, are not even allowed in the holy parts of the city. I mean, right there, we don't have that example in other religions. Okay, they do behead people. Now, if they were beheading people in Vatican City, which is the equivalent of Mecca. Don't you think there'd be a bigger outcry about it? So this is the soft bigotry of low expectations that we have with Muslim people. When they do crazy things and believe crazy things, somehow it's just not talked about nearly as much.
I do believe that what we see with ISIS is not representative of...
As I said, connecting tissue.
It's not representative of the Islamic religion. Again, I don't think the Quran teaches them to do this kind of thing.
Well, you're wrong about that. The Quran absolutely has on every page stuff that's horrible about how the infidel should be treated. As Ayaan Hirsi Ali points out, she says, can we really say... Well, and she would know better than either one of us. She said, can we really say that women are treated equally in the Muslim world? I mean, their testimony in court is very often counted as half. They need permission to leave the house. They're doing things like making them wear burqas, and I hear liberals say things like, well, they want to. They want to. They've been brainwashed. They don't want, it's like saying a streetwalker wants to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Maher, he really understands what he's talking about. He's one of the few voices in the center of this country that's willing to speak out against Islamic fundamentalism. And this is extremely important because so few people in the media are really willing to do this. Listen to his most cogent point. For example, they're beheading people in Saudi Arabia. But if they did this in Vatican City, they'd probably outcry around the world. When it comes to Muslim countries, there's no outcry, even though these are many failed states: Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt. I mean, these countries are falling apart. Yet where's the focus on their behaviors against their population, human rights, anti-women policies, and so on? Yet somehow this is kind of just excused in Western media that says basically that's just something they do culturally, but not something we could talk about. Well, we can talk about it. There's a lot of dangers coming from Islam, especially what just happened in Bondi. Another recent example about 2 weeks ago of 15 Jews were slaughtered in cold blood. These were not crazy people. These were people that trained deliberately, both the father and son, with ISIS to murder Jews at a peaceful event. It's called a soft target, where there's nobody able to actually fight back. That's who they attacked. They were clearly not just fighting some type of military establishment or target. They were going after an ideological war, which is to destroy the Jewish people and ultimately to destroy Judeo-Christian civilization. And we're seeing this throughout the world. About a month ago, a person came from the West Coast. He brought a gun with him. He shot in cold blood 2 National Guards people and screamed out Allahu Akbar. I mean, example after, in Mardi Gras last year, somebody took a van and a truck and plowed it through many people throughout New Orleans, just mowed them down for no purpose whatsoever. They were not schizophrenic or bipolar. These were people that are ideological, driven by a certain type of hatred. And I think that's what he's pointing out to, is the dangers of Islam. And even bigger than that, the question is, why are Muslims not speaking out with a united voice? This is the biggest question he's mentioning. Mosque leaders, Islamic leaders have to, in a unified way, speak out against terror, speak out against Islamic fundamentalism. One statistic showed that up to 20% of the Muslim community are radicalized, which means if there's 2 billion Muslims, what that means is about 400 million people, almost 500 million people, are supporting radical Islam. They're supporting financially through networks like Al-Qaeda, through networks like ISIS, through networks like Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood, and here in the United States through CARE. These are people that are actually actively supporting these movements. So we have some very serious problems on our hand, and there's few people speaking out with such clarity, such wit, and with such insight consistently like the great Bill Maher. But I'd like to hear what you have to say about this. So don't forget to leave your comments below, and of course, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you at the next video.